I'm Brian Hegedus. I'm Hungarian. And today I made Hungarian goulash. Ostensibly this is my grandmother's recipe. I actually had to check with my mom. My mother had prepared a book of all of, particularly my grandmother's recipes my mother had pulled from friends, or my grandmother had as well. But the funny thing was the goulash recipe wasn't in the book. And it's because it was so ubiquitous, it's like, well, of course you know goulash. You know, you don't need the recipe for that. My grandmother just assumed everyone knew this is like what you made. Everything started from there. So anything else was just, if you will, gravy and something else. So my mother had to put this together for me, and she pulled some resources together, and then she just kind of channeled my grandmother and said, do you want me to write this as if your grandmother had written? I said, yes, and let me know what she would say and what she would take out and how she would change it. You know, back in the day when some of these recipes came about, we didn't know as much as we knew about nutrition. I myself have not eaten red meat since 1999, so goulash was traditionally made with beef. If you were making a chicken dish, it would be chicken paprikash, which is a little bit different, and most people, you know, outside of the culture don't know, but they do know Hungarian goulash. So that's what we did today. I've changed it up even a little bit for myself in that I don't like carrots. Typically it has carrots, and I've added mushrooms as well because those are things I like. And goulash itself, you can talk to people who think it's more of a soup with a brothy kind of consistency, or a stew which has more of a creamy consistency, and that's how it's served. In our family, the recipe could either go over noodles or potatoes. I've made goulash before with red potatoes in it rather than on it, in the kind of the stew theory. And that's the thing, like, as I looked at these recipes that my mom then reminded me that I already had, you see how things got changed through the years, influence of culture or other people's palates and what they would and wouldn't eat, and how food had to be changed. As I said, in making this, I remember as a little kid, less tomato in it, but apparently that was a very big part of what goulash was, at least in my grandmother's recipe, and today's recipe reflects that. It's interesting putting this together and thinking about when I had this first and who made it for me and what I remember and what my memories were around that food and who I sat down to eat with it and eat it with. And it's nice to kind of go down that memory lane, if you will, and remember how this came about. And then for people actually to have a chance to share that with me and my family, to share with everyone else. I hope this is interesting, and I hope if you cook it, you enjoy it.